I'm Ziteihe. I trained as a business analyst. I was in Business 67 and I'm currently a technical business analyst. So it's like a regular BA, but there's a lot more almost data analytic work. So do some SQL querying, make some reports, Power BI, stuff like that. I went to university, I did materials engineering, and then I did a master's in materials engineering. And then it was pandemic year in my master's year, and I was like, I'm so tired of engineering. And then my friend was like, you'll be a really good BA, because he was doing it. And so I applied. Now I'm here. There was this focus on tech, but it wasn't just like developers, it was training to become a business analyst. And the fact that you didn't have to do business to get into it, because I don't know, I thought you have to do business or economics or something, but the fact that the training was integrated. And when I applied, I got a phone call and the person was so nice. I was like, oh, this seems like a nice place to work. These people are lovely. The training was a lot. I enjoyed it. I actually really did. I thought that how many new things I was learning, and at the end of every week, you could look back on what you learned and be like, what? I really enjoy things like that. A lot of people there came from very different backgrounds as well. So it wasn't like I was the only non-business person. Most people came from different avenues. So just like, I'm one person trying to learn. I would say one of the things about the training I enjoyed the most was actually the interview prep stuff that we did all the time. So at least once or twice a week, it will be, what is your interview questions? If someone asks, I don't know, who are you? What is your little speech you will say? How do you talk? And I've never really no one's ever taught that. It's one of those things that they just expect you to know. And I think the fact that that was integrated with all the other things you were learning is like such a clever way of putting that kind of knowledge that everybody needs to have, but no one really learns. So I got placed before my training ended, so I knew exactly where I was going and when I was going. And then when we actually got started, because I got placed with somebody else in my cohort, when we actually got started, it was like, okay, we're here now. All the things that we just learned, what do they mean? So I managed what was basically our agile type in our mini department. So like the Scrum board and the retrospective and the Scrum events and stuff like that. So that is minimum twice a week. There'll be something along that line that is happening. You always have your stand-ups. I manage some projects, so a bit of project managing work. I like it. I enjoy it. I like the fact that I'm exposed to so many different types of things, that I'm exposed to so many different types of people, and there's so much more to learn. I think that's one of my favorite things. If I want to know more, there's always somewhere to go. There's always something else to do. There's always something else to pick up. And because you work with so many different types of people, you can learn so much from them just by like osmosis. You know, just speaking to different types of people, you're like, oh, that's a great idea. That's a great way of interpreting this. Yes, 100%. So when we got interviewed, they said that they're looking for a technical business analyst. That means they wanted someone with SQL. And I never did coding. I didn't come from like a coding background. And so I was very like technical. Oh my goodness, that's a lot. But when I started, I had all those notes that I took during training. And even if they weren't at the top of my head, I had them written down. And so to this day, I still refer back to those notes when I'm trying to figure out something. And without the training, I think the fundamental knowledge would be missing. And it's always hard to build on a weak foundation. So yeah, definitely. Yes, I would. I think the training is a good way of getting people into the industry, especially if you didn't have the prior knowledge. I think it's quite a hard industry to break into. Everybody wants to get into tech, but how do you actually do it? And I think a lot of tech companies expect, even for junior positions, 2 years of experience or whatever. And so that breaking the barrier can be quite difficult. And at least for me personally, Sparta worked. I came in here with nothing, now I have a job.